Succession planning? What the heck is that? You've probably heard at least a couple people on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere mention succession planning, and you might be curious to know what that is. And there's a couple different kinds of succession planning. So one is you're just repeatedly sowing the same thing in the same spot, which we did with our radishes. So my arm is tired, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm doing a bunch of these. I just weeded forever. So my arm is a little bit tired, but we're gonna persevere. So our radishes, we already harvested. They had a very short growth time. It was 20 to 30 days. They were beautiful. We pulled them out and I replanted in the same line, or the same row rather. The first time we did them just down the center of the row. I've got some pictures here I can throw in for you guys. We planted just down the middle of the row. The second time, after I'd already plucked those out, I left the holes so I would know where I had planted the first time. And I replanted in those same holes, but also on the outsides. So before we had like 1, 1, 1. So this time I did 1, 2, 1, 2. So that I would get a bigger crop the next time. Now that is gonna be harder on our soil. I'm gonna trade this around here to keep up with that. Because before it was growing one little line and now it's growing like 3 times as many plants as it did before. So that's going to be hard on the soil. So one thing is the next time in another month or so, once we harvest those, we definitely, sorry, that one's shaky, you guys. Anyway, the next time we're going to have to add back some compost, fertilizer, things like that to really re-up the soil. And honestly, the best option at that point would be a different type of succession planning, which is to look into whether what you had planted is a nitrogen releasing or a nitrogen fixing, and then do the opposite. So I would have to look into that to see what radishes fall under and what else we have that has a short enough growth period that we could still utilize that row in that way. So you would plant something that is one way and then the other way, and that helps keep your soil really fertile and also helps your veggies grow, and you get 2 crops that way. So that is 2 different kinds where you rip up the whole thing, replant it. Well, not rip it up. You're harvesting it. Be gentle to it. Pull it out, harvest it, replant the same thing, or you alternate between those different kinds of nitrogen fixing or releasing. And then the other kind is one that I'm actually doing today. So let me flip you around and I'll show you what we've got going on. We've got beets and turnips here. I'm getting ready to treat for beetles with some diatomaceous earth because they're loving these turnip greens. But we've got half a row planted. So we went ahead and we put our markers here to remind us of that, so that when we're down here we can just weed with reckless abandon because we don't look out for anything. We don't have to look out for anything. So today what I've done is I've reopened those seed packets because I did tape them once I was done with them just to make sure that my seeds don't get mixed. And I've already got my holes spaced here, and then I'm going to move the markers from there down. So both of these varieties have a 2-month turnaround time from planting to harvesting. So what we've done is we've let these grow for a month. And then I'm going to go ahead and plant these ones. So in a month from now, I can harvest these and replant this side. And every month after that 2-month time period, we're going to get half a row of these vegetables. And that will be more than enough for us. We are just 2 people. If you're a lot of people, you might want to just alternate rows. Maybe you plant a whole row of turnips and leave the row next to it empty, and then after a month plant that one, and you just go back and forth that way. Or completely different rows. They do not have to be next to each other. You could have turnips here one time and then way over there next time. Doesn't matter. So that is another form. And a lot of people do it also with greens, because what are you gonna do with an entire row of iceberg lettuce? That's gonna be bananas, trying to figure out what the heck to do with all that. It doesn't preserve well at all, really, in any way that I'm aware of. So we kind of looked out, and ignore this row here. That's onions and grass, because sometimes they're hard to tell apart. And then right there, we've got 1, 2, 3 little bitty lettuce plants. I don't know if you can quite see them there. So it just grew that way. We just got unlucky in our germination of them, and honestly, it's for the best. So we've got those 3, which will be perfect for like a week or so for us for lettuce, and then you just do more. And like lettuce, you could just do every week. You plant 3 or 4, whatever you would consume in a week, and that way you have fresh lettuce all summer. So succession planting does not have to be a full month between or 2 months. There's no set time. It's whatever works for you, your needs, your garden, your family, your produce consumption. So for us, this works well. We'll probably get about a dozen beets and a dozen turnips once a month, which will be perfect for us, and probably even more than we'll need. So we're gonna have to look at fun ways to preserve them. So definitely worth looking into. And yeah, super fun, super easy. And just a quick recap, the 3 different kinds here that we've talked about. Something is screaming over there. I'm hoping it's a cicada. Sorry. We do have cicadas everywhere. If you listen really hard, you can probably hear them. Is 1, you plant, pull, replant, pull, replant, pull, replant. Same spot. Second one is alternating back and forth. So it's a variation of the first one, because you're still pulling and replanting in the same spot. You've just also got an additional crop so that you're getting a pretty steady supply. And then the third one would just be to plant little bits, little bits, little bits, little bits to keep a constant supply. And things that go really quick, that's a super great option for. So there you go. What do you guys succession plant? Are there other forms of succession planting? If there are, I would love to know them. Or some really good crops that you have found grow really well in succession with each other. One example of this that's pretty commercially known, I feel like, and you've probably seen, would be it's a much longer time frame, but a cornfield. You'll notice if you have corn one year, right, then I want to say it's every year or every other year you do something like soybeans, and that has to do with the nitrogen fixing properties, where that's a really long harvest crop and it's in there for the whole season. That's why you don't see it so quickly, but it is a form of succession planting, because if you just continuously planted corn, you would ruin your soil. So if you've seen that in cornfields around you and ever wondered why occasionally you see soybeans there, that's why. So is there anything like that that you have found that works really good for you? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see some more cool stuff like this, you know what to do. Make sure to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.